cool, right? Like, we could totally make a business out of that. And like 2 days later, he calls me. He's like, hey, so they did it. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, we're allowed to do to-go cocktails. And I was like, oh, okay, well, can we wait like 4 days?
Like, we got to kind of find a new plan. Find a plastic cup guy.
I mean, yeah, like
we're
figuring out
like bags of like, it's like the people that were getting gas a couple of weeks ago. They were just bringing every drum they could to fill up the fucking Chi-Chis.
Oh my God, yeah, right. Just like we just have it on tap.
Yeah, that would be dangerously fucking awesome.
It would be dangerous, yeah.
It would be awesome though.
No, we actually decided that we wanted to elevate it just like everything else that we do. So we actually took I think another week after we decided to start working on that. And we decided we were doing glass bottles only. You know, a lot of places were doing the deli, the plastic containers, or like the
glass bottles,
bags.
Like
we did glass bottles.
Styles?
Yeah, we're like, we're going to do glass bottles. It's more sustainable. I put a lot of emphasis on sustainability here. Like, we don't use any plastic stirs or anything like that because it's just a waste of. It's just garbage.
Think about the turtles that we are lighting on fire with natural gas.
Right.
I don't even know if that fire's still raging or not.
I mean, I hope not. I don't know. I haven't really kept up on it either.
I try to. It's so depressing to stay involved in the news. It's hard to. You're like, I know. Decompress. And in the summer, you just want to get out of town or something. You're like, I just want to unplug this phone. And I'm like, fuck, I got to work.
Yeah, just don't tell me about any of those things anymore.
Well, in a bar, it's even worse. Someone's probably coming in.
Oh, you hear about it
every day. It's like, goddamn Biden. And then just 8 months ago, it was the other way around. You know,
right.
There's always somebody.
For sure.
And you're always their therapist.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I totally see your side of things.
But yeah, sustainability is something that needs to be more well thought into and
with everything you do in business,
industry.
I think. Anything you do in business, but
how big are these bottles we're talking?
Like
message style, like big guys.
Yeah, well, we started out with 750s, and then 750 milliliter bottles. Then we were like, let's expand it, and because we were worried
get into the growler scene.
Well, we didn't get that big because what happens is you're selling 4 to 11 cocktails in a bottle, and that's not cheap at all, you know. No. Plus the cost of the bottle, and we had custom labels, and like it was a whole thing. I joked that we were the Amazon fulfillment center, you know. That was the days of my Amazon fulfillment shop.
Just going out the fucking
door.
And
I literally would come in and with a couple of the other employees, and we would just work like 8-hour days, just making batches, putting them into bottles, and then after that we did delivery too.
Did it
so
look
we'd
like
be
a meth lab with all on like an assembly line? One person has a strainer, one person's like on the grill.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it looked like. It was crazy in here.
We don't judge meth labs. We love them all. We love them all.
Right.
And y'all were doing delivery too, so was that able to keep everybody on board, or was it able to kind of at least keep the roof over the heads?
Well, so what we did, and Lauren was such a saint for this, but for the first like 2 months, we didn't take any profit. All of the money that we made that was over the top of the cost of selling the bottles went straight to employees. Went to a fund that we ended up splitting up for everyone who had worked there. Everyone who stayed with us through the first time we shut down. We ended up shutting down twice, but
yeah, I mean everybody kind of
had to.
Fucked, yeah.
Right. We reopened in July 7th or 9th, something like that. A couple weeks after everyone else did. We wanted to like feel it out and see what would happen, and then that's when we paid all the employees that money from the to-go stuff, and whoever came back got it. That was a really nice bonus for them. And then, reopening, the whole thing is just shooting from the hip, right? It's just like, well, what do we...
Everybody had to pivot because everything was uncertain. Everything was an unknown. Like, we didn't know how long we were going to be shutting down for when we did. You know, The podcast suffered mightily in regards that I was asking everybody the same questions over Zooms. It was just like, have you watched Tiger King yet? Or Joe Exotic, or whatever the fuck it was called. It was awful, you know, but we're starting to kind of come out of this. And so, you know, everyone's putting their best foot forward, and y'all are really starting to showcase not only what y'all can do in front of house, but also in the back of house.
For sure.
It's pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. I feel like we're in a good place. And it's really cool to see this place, like I said, now versus when I first started here. And not just even from the... not just from like the difference in the culture, but just in general. I feel like the staff who works here, everyone's happy to be here. Everyone who works here, you know, we've got a lot of long-term employees, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. But you know, Sally, you know, who took care of you, for example, she's got such good energy that she brings to the tables.
Knowledgeable, fun. She knew her way around that menu. Probably saved us a couple bucks as well. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Now, I do have one quick question before we start asking you some personal questions. Did you hire your friend with nepotism? Cronyism, I guess, would be the term of this one.
Yes and no. Giovanni, we're talking about, right?
Yeah, the one that works here with you.
I mean, if I'm being honest, Giovanni is a pain in my ass, but that's because we're friends, right?
Yeah,
like it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage friends. He's the kind of guy who like you're like, hey, don't do it that way, and he'll be like, well, how was I supposed to know? You didn't train me. But it's something that's like.
You're like, God damn it.
Yeah, but right. But like he's also been a GM, so like it'll be something where it's like you shouldn't do that, but also he's just like pushing my buttons kind of thing.
He knows that he'll be like, if I cut the limes sideways instead of like he's not going to have fun with this today.
Yep. Or like
busting your balls.
All the time. There's like a specific way I like to have the bar closed down, and he'll like do it just slightly different, just different enough that I get like pissed off about it. But he's honestly a really great bartender. Like the way he interacts with guests, the energy he brings to the bar, his positivity, and those are all the reasons that I love having him here.
Hell yeah.
Because that's what we really go for. At the end of the day, I think you asked earlier what our culture is, and I think at the end of the day, our goal is just to have a good time. Like staff having a good time, guests having a good time. Because you're coming with friends, you're coming with a bunch of friends, you're getting fucked up on boozy drinks, you're eating good food, and like at the end of the day, it's just making memories and having a good time.
Well, y'all definitely you've set the mood for everybody, whether it be the vibe when you walk in the door, whether it be the food that you order. You can't go wrong. I recommend the jerk chicken, but definitely get the pork belly. And then the cocktail list is extensive, and they've got something for everyone. Just to ask them. That's what I did. I didn't know. I usually drink red wine. Sally was like, well, while you're here, try some of our stuff. And so I did, and I ended up having a blast.
Yeah.
Let's give some folks, before we ask your personal questions, the quick rundown dates and times that y'all are open, social media pages and websites, so if they want to get reservations and whatnot, how they can check out the menu, all that jazz. Give them the quick spiel.
Yeah. So our hours right now are Tuesday through Saturday. We open at 5 every day. Tuesdays are all day happy hour, Tiki Tuesday.
Fuck yeah. Tiki
Tuesday. That's the day. It's a good day.
That's the day this drops. So come on down here and join me.
And we'll do... So we'll do all day happy hour on Tuesdays. Tuesdays through Thursdays, we're open until 11. Kitchen closes at 10. Fridays and Saturdays, we're open until midnight. Although I think we're going to expand those hours to 1 pretty soon.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I mean, the neighborhood's starting to want to stick around a little longer later.
Well, I'm even noticing, that people are staying later every night. When you're closing and there's still a full restaurant, you got to be like, okay, well, we're doing something wrong because there's people who want to be here still.
That's a great problem to have.
Right, for sure.
I guess we're staying up an hour. And while it may suck for those that do have to close, that extra $120 because they have 2 extra drinks, and you combine that by 8 tabs, that's an extra easy $10 on each tab by having a cocktail.
Oh, for sure.
So the juice it'll be worth the squeeze.
I think it'll be worth it, yeah.
And it was popping. We were here on a Wednesday or something like that, and it was fucking popping at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and it was raining outside. So it's definitely a vibe that people are, they're buying into, they're catching on to, and once you get them in here, they'll be returning.
Yeah,
they'll be returning for sure.
We have a lot of great regulars, and a surprising amount of people who are still new, who come in and I've never seen them before, and I'm like,
no, I mean I get it though. Like it had been years since I was here last, and I had just had cocktails after it was a birthday party. We had cocktails and took pictures around the big table, wherever that was, and that was kind of like the end of it because we were here for the vibe and the drinks. But now that you've added this whole new repertoire of dank ass eats, you can probably lock someone in here from 7 to 12 instead of just being the 9 to 12 place.
If we didn't have the time limits on the tables, people used to stay here and hang out for like 4 hours at a time and be like, guys, can you please leave just because we have other people who want to come in and also have a good time,
Like, we love y'all here.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's not like y'all stopped spending money. We're just trying to spread the love.
Yeah, exactly, right.
That's the tiki vibe. I like
for
it.
sure.
All positive vibes. And then so I railroaded the conversation.
Yeah, it's okay. So like I said, Tuesday through Saturday we open at 5. Right now, we are aiming to open up on Sundays, starting I think August 1st is our goal. So, that's just an issue of staffing, but I think we're getting close. We've been hiring a lot of great new people.
How's it been? I mean, I know it's been kind of a bitch.
It's terrible.
I mean, the government's outpaying everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't rely on government for anything.
I mean, for sure. It's really interesting. You get people who apply, and you're like, oh, yeah, like this person's great for this position, and you reach out, and they just don't respond. And I've never, in all of the time that I've worked here, never had that issue as much until this year. And it's, everyone's having an issue. It's totally people just out there just riding on the unemployment.
Do you think it's going to go much longer? Because, like, they've got to cut the extra excess cash at
Yeah.
least, like, and then we've gotten closer, especially Colorado more than some states, with getting those figures back from the unemployment. But it seems like the restaurant industry has kind of been taking the brunt of it in all capacities, whether it been restaurant relief from the government, which they just fucking twiddled their thumbs on, screwed a lot of people, or whether it be the unemployment fund that's paying more than the average waitress or Uber driver would make. Or it's the fucking supply chain that those people can't even get get employees back into their warehouses to drop the cost of chicken because we can't break these fuckers down as quickly. It seems like y'all have been bitten across all three boards.
It's been more challenging than ever, for sure.
Do you need him? Okay.
Are you doing it? Okay, cool.
Is it a test?
Yeah, it's a test.
It's C. The answer's always C.
No, it's been a struggle across the board though. And one of our biggest struggles specifically lately is just with the bar side. I order things that are specific to our cocktails, and they're like, "Oh, we were going to be out of that for the next 3 weeks." I'm like, "Well, that's on our menu. What are we going to do?" So we're constantly shuffling around ingredients and trying to make things work, or if
is it
it's
are y'all leaning on Argonauts and Mollies to help out in this capacity as well?
Yeah.
So that gunpowder in that 15-year,
yeah.
You're like, shit. Good thing you got the inside hook on that BVI guy.
Right, yeah, he's gonna. Well, I'm excited about that too. I told the ambassador, I was like, hey, because she was like, you need to put it on your menu. We used to have Painkiller punch bowls, and we're bringing them back. But
that's huge news.
That's great.
You should have led with that.
I'm sorry, you're right. No, I'm excited for that, and people loved them. But the problem was we just couldn't get pussers in, and so we were like, hey, we'll do it, but you just got to make sure we can get pussers in. And she's like, okay, done. And that's great. It's great to have that connection.
The direct connect.
Yeah.
And if you need other things from the island, or if you have other people from the island, holler at me.
Okay,
I need that direct connect. So keep me in the loop.
For sure.
And then, so we're opening earlier on Sunday.
We're going to open it still, I think 5. I think we keep same hours, 5 to 10 probably on Sundays to start. And then, we'll see how it goes. But Sunday, we're gonna be branding it Shipwrecked Sunday. So instead of getting shit-faced, you're gonna come get shipwrecked.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah.
Sunday Shipwrecks.
Yeah, and
Shipwreck Sunday.
Shipwreck Sunday.
Yeah, that sounds better.
And I don't know exactly what that means yet, but we're definitely gonna have discount bowls, and we're looking into I don't know, other things too to make it fun.
Hey, hell yeah! Maybe just throw Jaws on the big screen and then do bingo.
Well, we already do that.
I do.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember what. Oh, it was Finding Nemo was on the other night.
Okay.
And obviously it was high, and girlfriend was like, hello. I was like, sorry, Finding Nemo is on.
Yeah, right. You're like, where am I?
Yeah. I just sat here for hours. And then social and website for those that want to follow.
So our website's www.adriftbar.com.
Okay, nice.
That's ADRIFT. Then our social, Instagram is going to be Adrift Denver. And then our Facebook is also Adrift Denver. And our, if you want to make reservations, you can do it from our website. We're also on Talk right now. That's TOCK.
Yeah, that's a great booking.
They're great.
The POS and systems?
I do. We are actually going to be switching back to Open Table.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
did
starting.
you like your Open Table rep that sold you on that, or did you just do that because Talk was too expensive?
Honestly, the reason that we're doing it is because Open Table interfaces better with our POS system, Toast.
Yeah.
And before we actually had left Open Table because Open Table used to have a situation where you had to pay per head, and so we'd end up paying $600-$700 a month for our reservation system, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And then Talk was $200 flat. And then, thanks to Talk, they cut that monopoly, and now Open Table's like, oh, we're only $300 flat, so.
And then it's a little friendlier. So if you're listening, Talk, and you want to sponsor this podcast, fucking take note, and I can put these bugs in your ears because you're getting trumped by one Open Table right now, just from the ease of use for the point of sales. The POS systems are beating you. Sheesh. But a lot of restaurants that in the Denver area, I feel, have used Talk.
I mean, a lot of them still do use Talk.
Yeah,
and
that's the only reason I know about them is because my reservation problem.
I mean, for sure. And, yeah, it's hard to get reservations anywhere now. One thing I will say for Talk, to give them some credit, is that all the restaurants that they list on their websites, and I think this is great for them on maybe their marketing side, but who they're targeting and who they're getting are all really high-end restaurants.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I loved, and that was a selling point for me. I was like, I'm going to be listed amongst Tavernetta and Hop Alley and all these.
Taylor.
Yep.
I mean, and that's a great ration. That's a good point. Like you